Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
My name is Tommy.
Today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 6. No, 7, I'm sorry.
7.
Episode 7, and that episode is titled Basement Blues. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. I will start out by saying my notes were very limited.
Were they?
Very.
I think I took great notes this time.
Good. So who did you write the least about?
MM and Ikechi.
Let's start there.
All right.
MM and Ikechi. Well, let's start off. This was the episode that we got to see each other's living spaces.
Mm-hmm.
As well as I have no idea what he's doing. As well as this was the first expert visit to them as couples. So Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal visited everyone except for David and Michelle. That's her name? Michelle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal visited them.
Right.
So Dr. Pia only made one appearance. Now, back to MM and Ikechi. Ikechi has he had a lot of musical instruments.
Yeah.
And he did have a nice view. Seriously? He had a nice view in his apartment, but he just had a standard apartment. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't nice because it wasn't bad or anything like that. It just was a regular apartment. And then we got to MM's home, and I believe she lived in a townhouse, if I'm not mistaken. And she had a really good view as well. And it seemed like Ikechi was a little bit intimidated by her living space.
It did. He gave off the idea that, like, because his apartment, it's a very nice apartment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like bad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh my God, wow.
But he reminded me of he got money. That's how I felt like he was walking around in her.
Yeah, when he saw that she had the
store.
karaoke machine and
like she has a really nice place, but she's a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think a nurse practitioner.
She has her own practice.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't think that she has a trash house.
Right.
So the intimidation factor seemed like it was coming along with him in what he was doing and what was going on. So that was the thing that stood out to me like more when they were walking around was how he tried to make it where his apartment was, I'm just so humble. Mm-hmm. And this is where I did. Like, let's be honest, man. First off, you have a nice apartment. Secondly, you moved here. You just moved here. She's like, I don't know if she's from there, but she's established.
She has roots there.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, the expectation can't be of the same level. Now you have to figure out a way to balance it because there's a struggle. There's going to be a power struggle there. Mm-hmm. And I think some of his ideas of how men and women in gender roles are going to play a part. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's going to be, just trying to figure that part out. So,
yeah, I could definitely see it being a struggle. But I also think that when you found out she was a nurse practitioner, if you didn't know what that was, or if you did know what it was, one of the first things that I probably would have done was Google median salary ranges.
But yeah, I think Ikechi's ideal of how things should work start playing around in his head. And he's like I just didn't. I felt like he was walking around that house and was like, "Oh, she got better stuff than I do," and that's the feeling that I got from him. And I was like, but you're. I don't feel like anybody should feel that way over anything, right? Like you could drive the most raggediest,
not most raggediest,
the raggediest car, you know, or you have the best house on the block. Like it doesn't matter the things that you have. Are you a good person?
You saying that just made me think about like when I used to watch HGTV all the time. They be like, buy the worst house in the best neighborhood. You still live in a good neighborhood.
Right. Right. You still live in a fantabulous neighborhood.
My thing is with that is if she has been able to accomplish these things on her own, if you're truly interested in her, and I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But if he were truly interested in her, all I would be thinking is, okay, how are we going to merge our lives?
I honestly don't see that he's not interested in her. Like, I know.
I got a good feeling.
I know everybody has said, like, I don't think he's interested in her. But I think he's interested in her. Mm-hmm. It's just, he's more so interested in it's something funny, but I think he's more so interested in the social media effect of Married at First Sight.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's gonna do his grad school dissertation on it.
Maybe
for his PhD.
Because I find it weird that he moves to. He doesn't get on in Houston,
which is where he's from.
Yeah, moves to Chicago and gets picked. I find that to be weird. Because that's a lot of, it already takes a lot to move from one like neighborhood to another. Mm-hmm. This man moved one state to another state.
And these weren't bordering states.
And it's not because of a job, not because of this, not because of that, was so that he could be on Married at First Sight. Mm-hmm. Some would say, so I could be picked, so, you know, and
it seems also that the people that, granted, he didn't move. He just did it when they cycled back around in his city. The people that reapply and get it still don't end up married for real.
Yeah.
Because Mark, the shark.
Oh, he applied twice?
Yeah, he applied the first time they were in Boston, and then he got picked the second time they were in Boston.
Okay.
And
they picked him a horrible, like that was a horrible pick. But
it's just, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's not working out for the people. Which is interesting that he wasn't picked in Houston, because if I can remember the men that were in Houston, if he were serious about the process, he would have been a better pick than some of the other husbands that were in Houston. Because remember, Wichita was cheating and then got with old girl and then cheated on her too, wasn't it? Hurricane K's husband.
Oh, I don't know.
Zach, he got with the
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I was thinking about when MM and Ikechi sat down with Pastor
Cal and Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal basically was like, it's okay to have sex.
Mm-hmm. He told him that, he said he goes to bed at 9:00 promptly. And he was like, well, maybe I can move it to 10. And Dr. Pepper's like, it's not about moving it to 10. It's what you do with the time between 9 and 10 that matters. Right. And I'm like, if you guys like each other, I'm not saying you got to immediately jump into having sex with each other, but you immediately jumped into being married with each other.
Yeah.
Like,
my thing is, or my thought process is, I felt like he was moving it off the table. Like, no, we're not going to have sex until we get to know each other. But sex has got to be on the table.
But my thing is that sex being on or off the table, it doesn't seem like intimacy is their issue.
Right. And that's why I think Pastor Kyle and them were going. They was like, we don't run into the issue of they not attracted to each other. They don't, they like each other. They're getting along well. Hey, that's one more step that they can go through, because this process is already a speed. It's everything.
It's on steroids.
Yeah, it's everything all at once. No brakes, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, those are the things that you have to talk about, because they were saying they had the conversation. I don't know if they talked about finances, but they had the conversation about kids. They've talked about a lot of things. Of course, they're going to get to know each other a lot more as time goes on, because, you got to spend time with a person. You got to be intimate in a process to where you know what makes a person tick, right? But that comes with time. That's one thing you guys don't have that normal people do.
But I hate that notion, because there's always time.
I don't mean like
the 8-week mark. Like, I feel like they be trying to make it be so final.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if things are working, let them continue to work.
Right. Like, decision day is only I would like to continue this marriage because what I've been doing has been working for me.
Right.
And see where the thing blossoms. The thing that I mean by the time me and you got married, we had been together for 3 years. So that 3-year period, we got to learn each other. We got to know each other and stuff like that. So that's the thing that they miss out on before they get married. So but I think they're gonna be fine up until they're not. Let's see, they had a great honeymoon. I don't know what they said about future goals. They have to think as if they're married. That takes, again, it's a thing that takes time. It's not a thing, like, you definitely have to come into the situation thinking about the other person, which we'll get into. That's something that Allan and Madison, Allan and Madison, like, really need to hone in on. But that's pretty much all I got for them.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to jump to Madison and Allan?
Yeah, we can.
You mentioned them.
We can.
Okay, so we started off this episode with her staying at her friend's house and then coming in, and not at her friend's house, staying at home. She went out to dinner with a couple of her friends. Apparently, somebody was going through something, and then they went back to her place and started drinking. And her plan, allegedly, was to come home. This is what I probably watched maybe 7 minutes after party.
Yeah.
This was said in that little time frame on after party, was that she had the intentions of coming back to the house, but she was like, I woke up in the middle of the night, like, we literally just passed out on the couch talking. And she was like, I didn't even sleep in my own bed. That's how you know that I was planning on coming back, because if I wasn't going, I wouldn't have been on my couch. I would have been in my bed. But he seems to be understanding about that, which leans into the people pleaser thing or trope that they have surrounding him. Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal came by, and they talked about Madison trying to change Allan and the fine line of influence versus just outright trying to change him. And I think that that's where the issue lies, is that he is trying to adjust and change for her. And there are some things like him saying, I've gone to the gym 4 times in the last 3 days, hoping that she would go with me. It's like, you want him to have a gym body, and he doesn't. And he's trying. Because for a person that doesn't work out at all to just jump into, I'm going to go every day, that's a lot.
Yeah. Like,
we don't know what he doing when he get in there. He might
probably just walk around and then, all right, I'm going to be out of here.
Yeah.
But no, like Pastor Cal said it best.
You really do have great detailed notes. Mine are trash this week.
He said it's okay. Right. I just I had got into it. That's the crazy part. Like, that's why I was like, this episode was much better than the other ones. For me.
For you. Gotcha.
He said it's okay to change if it's going to benefit us. Like, that is a major, major, major key in relationships and in trying to change somebody. Now, what bothered me was when they talked about the changing thing is that we're 10 days in? How is it that you met me 10 days ago and you're like we're having a conversation about you changing me?
And she wants to change such surface level things. Like, I mean, the gym isn't surface level, but like, I don't like the way that he dresses. He hasn't done anything like dressed away around people that you should be trying to impress that should have embarrassed you.
Right.
Like, I could see if y'all had went to like a black tie event and he wanted to put on those green sunglasses, but you were on a honeymoon.
Right.
These times don't matter.
Right. This is for y'all.
Yeah.
It don't matter, like, because, like, simply put, what's the people, David and Michelle were going through their thing. You would be a fool to allow them to mess up your honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? Which they easily could do, because her vibe could be off.
Let me tell you, if I liked my husband, ain't nothing Michelle could do.
That's what I'm saying. They ain't trying to impress nobody.
Babe, I'm gonna let you have this.
Right, you got
We're
it.
gonna go.
You got it. We finna go have some fun.
Now, I can allow you to mess up David's honeymoon because he's on a honeymoon with you. I'm not.
Right, exactly.
And then me and the other girls are gonna sit around and talk about you together.
Right. I wonder what the conversations were.
Oh, definitely.
Without her.
Definitely from the after parties. I don't think I've watched I might have watched all the after parties. I don't know. But definitely from like the conversations surrounding Michelle's actions and the other women talking about things. Yeah. There were definitely side conversations.
Oh, yeah. But
because like, remember, Carla was like, I'll cuss her out.
Yeah. But Madison and Allan, it's certain things that she does like she's not attracted to him. She doesn't think he's pretty, but she's given on face that I'm going to try. She's not repulsed by him, which is a good thing, because we've seen where people get repulsed by a person. Like, everything this person does bothers them. And
Michelle.
Right. And it's, it's okay. It's how you handle that. And I think Madison is doing a really good job of handling, I'm not attracted to you, but I'm in this process. So far, I don't know how it's going to end or what's going to happen, but so far I'm going to try. The thing that did mess me up is her, when what you was talking about in the beginning, the first night not staying there, him stepping up and talking about it, I think is pretty much the only thing you can do, because that's I'm a single woman thing. Like, I mean, you have to have some type of grace there. Like,
even if I was dating a guy, and I have to use you for an example, we used to live down the street from each other.
Yeah.
If I went back to my house and I told you I was coming back to your place that night and I didn't show up, like, I need to tell you.
Yeah. Say something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I need to tell you, not because I'm like, I owe him this or whatever, but the person could genuinely be concerned about your safety.
Yeah.
And I know that you went out. I know that you went out drinking.
Yeah. And so the thing for me, or the way I would have handled that, is I would have texted her. Like, you good? You coming back or what? Have some type of communication, because that's the thing.
Called a few times.
like if I text and you didn't respond.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, when she fell asleep, called a few times.
Yeah, I would have called, because my thing would have been concern for your safety. I don't know if you okay or not, because you said you were coming home. And then that's conversations for us to have.
And for the next 6 weeks, this is home. Or 8 weeks.
Right. This is where we
whatever.
live.
This is ground zero.
Yeah. So, but it's a. I think he handled that by bringing it up, but I also think you have to reinforce. Like, I understand, some grace has to be given, but as well as it has to be said. Like, hey, you told me you come home, you didn't. Concern.
Yeah.
Luffy is Allan's dog. That puts another dynamic to their relationship. Just because she's not a dog mom, and Luffy is a.
Well, she said she likes pets. That's what she said on After Party.
Right. Everybody likes pets until they have one. Then it's different.
True story.
So it's like.
That's why we don't have a dog.
No, that's not why we don't have a dog. But it's neither here nor there. But Luffy is a wild dog, and he's still trying to go through the chain.
Luffy seems like a 2-year-old child.
Yeah,
like Luffy has to still be a puppy.
Yeah, right. He is, and
Luffy is out here puppying it up.
Yeah.
I wrote nothing about Luffy. Thank you for bringing up this dog.
And so the dog brings a different dynamic because that's like a child.
And now, not just that I have to be around your dog, but I also have to deal with the nuances of your dog. Because Luffy was scratching up the couch.
Luffy was humping the couch, the pillow.
It might have had some shoes beaten, like just typical puppy things. But if that's not what you were ready for, you're going to be like, I'm going to fight you and your dog.
Right. He cooked for her, and she said, basically, she didn't say she couldn't cook, but she couldn't produce a meal like he did. That meal looked good.
The funny thing is that he laid out all the ingredients, and he was like, you know what I'm going to make? She was like, not a clue. I'm like, I would have at least guessed something based on like the proteins and stuff that was there.
They did talk about religion. Really didn't get into much of, but he was very agreeable with they want them to have the choice of their religion. And I was like, so are y'all going to go to church or no?
He said holidays.
I don't understand how that works.
I don't know.
It made me like say we need to go to church. I was like, I was ready to praise the Lord right then and there. Sometimes I just walk in the room and say, thank you, Jesus.
Not I was ready to praise the Lord right then and there.
Praise the Lord right then and there, man. I give him some praise when I can, all the time.
That I don't have anything else.
That's it for them, man.
Okay. Let's go to who you want to go to next?
We can do David and
I wrote the least about them.
I ain't even write nothing about them.
David and Michelle.
Yeah.
They went to David's basement apartment and her apartment. And boy, did she get pissed off when he said she lives a simple life.
So you not starting from the beginning. But we'll go there.
Start from the beginning.
They talked to Dr. Pia.
Oh yes.
And Pastor Kyle first. Like they didn't pass go. They went straight to Pastor Kyle and Dr. Pia.
And Dr. Pia was like, so you're giving up already? She said that with a smile on her face, like, I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here.
Yeah. So Dr. Pia brought up the fact that, or she asked what's wrong, and Michelle was like, he lives at home. And Dr. Pia was like, but didn't you say you'll be okay with that? And
then flashback.
Yeah.
Thank you, production.
But I was like, that didn't prove Dr. Pia's point. She said she had a problem with it.
But no, it does prove her point. Because if I asked you, was this okay? And you said okay when I asked you, why do you have a problem with it now? Because I asked you. And you said you didn't. We wouldn't have matched you.
Look, these are my words that I said. I have no clue what reference I was saying this to. She feel like a dumbass. She don't like him. She slept at her own apartment. So
I forgot she slept at her own place.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she slept at her own place and there was a whole
other bedroom.
There's another bedroom. You're just not committed to doing this at all.
She's truly bothered by the idea that this grown man lives at the house. Didn't make it any better when she went to the house and saw the apartment. They went by her apartment first.
She was also very bothered by the fact that his parents could come in and do their own laundry in their house.
Yeah. She was like, but what if it was somebody else? David was like,
so
David never sat at that table either. Let's get that out the way.
Oh, because it doesn't
David never
matter.
sat at that. Like, I don't even know why that table's in there.
It was his mom and daddy's table, and they got a new one and was like, David, you can take this one down.
You can take this one down
basement.
here.
The thing is he's been there for 8 months. Okay, cool. Whatever. He lives back at home. He's saving his money to do whatever he's planning on saving his money to do. I know from our financial position, if we had been able to, prior to purchasing our home, move in with a parent, we would have jumped at that opportunity. Because not only am I not paying rent now, I don't have lights, gas, or water.
No, I'm going to throw something on it. Because...
Oh my God. No, I get that. I'm not saying that you wouldn't throw something on it, but I'm not obligated to all of these bills. So like, let's say that came up to like $2,000 a month. And I told a parent, oh, we'll just give you $700.
Yeah.
I'm still $1,300 in the clear every month to stack money to do whatever it is that I need to do, whether to prepare to buy a home is paying off debt. Or saving money for the down payment. I don't know. I think that's where the issue lies. And that's what Dr. Pia was saying. That's what has been said on After Party by multiple people. There was not ever a conversation of what's next.
Yeah, she just assumed because he lived at home, he's a bum.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, she compared his living situation to basically a college student, like living in a dorm room.
She didn't see the slums that we've seen.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
Of college students, not in dorm rooms.
Right. She just it's a bad pick on the expert's part.
I don't think she wants to be in a relationship.
I don't think she wants to be in a relationship with him.
No, I just don't think she wants to be in a relationship because there's so much of what she has said that doesn't feel like she is interested in a give and take, period. Because it's insert man and stir is what she wants.
Yeah. It's a difference because the way she looks at being an adult. Like, she seems like she would get upset if the man was like, yeah, I game on Tuesdays. Like, every Tuesday, me and my guys get on the game. Because she looking at him as a grown man.
Why are you playing video games?
Right. I don't understand people that don't.
Why do you have a tattoo? Why do you have a tattoo of someone else's name?
Like, that is dumb. But
was somebody's name?
No, I'm just saying, man. It's like he does a lot of young-minded things. A lot of things that I wouldn't like personally at my big age.
Well, we don't know when he got that tattoo.
I ain't talking about the tattoo.
Oh.
I'm just talking about his living situation is stupid.
Oh, I don't know.
Like I get it. Like, you live at home with your folks and stuff like that. But I would have said, hey, I'm living at the crib with my folks. But my plan is to do this. Like, that's just the whole conversation.
I thought he said he had somewhere that he had purchased.
He did.
He was sinking a lot of money into.
He did. He purchased a condo and was just losing money because I guess he had to fix a lot of stuff on it. So he sold it, cut his losses, and now he's, And
I feel like that's a thing.
Right.
That's a true, like, I made a major investment. It went terrible.
But if you
because that's life.
If you look at her situation, right, and her saying, I have a dog walker that I never met.
She only seen her 3 times.
So only seen her 3 times. I was like, there's a difference in your value of things is different.
He want to know who's coming in and out.
Right.
What they doing. How can I cut some costs on X, Y, and Z?
She has a dog walker. Like, you have a dog that you don't go walk.
I mean, I see a lot of things.
Right. But there comes, and you know, she does it on days that
dog walkers don't come to the hood.
Nah. She does it on days that she doesn't work or she goes into the office. You know what? That dog will be waiting until we get home, or he'll be trained enough to not mess up anything, to just be at the crib.
I mean, okay, so I have a friend who she has put her dog in daycare while she was at work in the office.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, what was he doing the last 3 years while you was working in the office? Because you was still working in the office, no?
Yeah.
And she's like, I just wanted to try something different. I was like, I get it. You wanted to try something different. But it also feels like a money pitfall. Like, I have an extra $100 in my budget that I don't have anything to do with. Right. Let me try to do this.
But that's the thing I look at. It's like, you look at just the way they spend money, the way they look at money, how things are supposed to go. And you can tell, like, a person's maturity. Like, she's not mature enough. I don't think she's mature enough to be in a relationship. To be honest with you, I think he's mature enough to be in a relationship, but he's such a peculiar person because he likes to do certain things, but he's so, I want this to work. I want this to work. It's like you're not truly getting him. You know, his representative is having to work overtime because of the idea that he's compensating for the lack of attraction to her. Yeah. Or from her. You know, so it's like, man, in that sense, they don't work because of that. They don't jail because every time you're gonna look around, something's gonna be said about him from her negatively.
I agree.
She did come with some ideas of things that they could do, which is turning a point. But I think by the end of the episode, we was like, that had been gone out the window.
Because he said she lived a simple life.
Which, it's okay for somebody to live. She said,
but babe, your house really was simple,
right? It's you know, you don't have a back cave or anything like that. It's just a house. Like, it's nice. He didn't say anything was wrong with it. She got really mad. She was disturbed by the fact that he said it was simple.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, right. So yeah, she just it's just a tough situation. I did come up with a question. I said he don't have a chance with her because of his living situation. I wonder if it would be different if his parents lived with him instead of the other way around. Because those are situations too.
We know friends that are in that situation.
Right. So it's like that question comes up because that shows a different level of responsibility and maturity. You know? So that's all I got for you.
Oh, shoot.
What happened?
I pasted something there that didn't belong. Who is our next couple? You just do Juan and Carla.
I want to do my favorite couple last.
Okay.
All right. So Carla doesn't have a home.
I wrote a question. Hold on. I got to finish this because I want to be able to put this as your pinned comment. Yeah. That's why I was putting it in my notes.
Oh, okay. That's hilarious.
Okay. So the question, it was your question. I said, Carla moved into a storage unit. Y'all think she got evicted?
That's what I said?
Yes. You was like, what if Carla got put out of her last place? She was like, I'm getting married. I don't have to pay
this. Money is energy.
Money is energy, and I'm not going to put my energy into a place that is not with my husband.
Right. They put her right on out. She moved right into a storage room.
I was like, Carla, here's your notice.
Oh, man.
So they talk about, they sat down with the experts and talked about her showing more tolerance and less assumptions towards him and actually having overall better communication. Essentially, those are the things that they said that they wanted from each other. He said he wanted the more tolerance, less assumptions, and better communication. And she said she wants him to be more mindful so that she feels stability with him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought stability was an interesting word.
Why?
Because the thing that she got upset with him about, I would not consider.
What did she get up?
I forgot you were here.
Yeah.
I would not consider that a question of stability.
Yeah.
Would you?
No, that was the mindfulness part of it.
Yes. But I'm saying, like, what else could make him appear not stable?
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where did that come from?
She just couldn't think of another adjective. That's all that was.
It's like the mindfulness I get. And I don't even think that it was a mindfulness issue. I think that the issue was you shouldn't say everything that's at the top of your head.
Yeah.
And that's where he failed.
Yeah. Like you don't know her well enough to know what you can say and what you can't say to that, will push a button of hers.
Right.
And her being passive aggressive towards him, that's the issue that he had. He was like, man, if something bothers you, tell me and we can rectify it, which makes sense.
I also was a little bit going back to the passive aggressive thing. Like when she saw that he didn't have a bag after his morning swim, they had to go to breakfast with the bag. It's like, why y'all didn't just go back to the room? I've been on a big resort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is no way that I'm just gonna walk around with this garbage bag when the room is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the room is very seldom so far away.
Yeah.
Unless breakfast was about to end, and then unless I just really had great plans for breakfast, all right, we're gonna go get something for lunch.
Man, just get the man bag and just be like, hey, bro, don't say that no more. Makes me feel away.
It was not nice.
Right.
It was not kind.
It wasn't demure.
Okay, Glow. Demure.
But it's like I get it, man. It upset you. Let it, you fester in it, let it upset you. But you have to tell the person what you're mad about.
Absolutely.
Because one thing men aren't mind readers.
Nobody's mind readers. I mean, it's not a man-woman thing.
I don't know, man. Y'all be thinking we mind readers.
Anywho, you got anything else for them?
Dang, we ain't spend no time on them, did we?
Oh, they should have went first.
They should have.
All right, last couple. Camille and Thomas.
No, wait. I don't know if you noticed it, but Juan was taking notes. You did?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he had his little notepad out taking notes. I was like, Juan, I have never seen anybody do that. That is very mature of you.
What's going to happen is she going to say something smart again, and he going to be like, on September 9th, let me show you right here what she said. I took a picture of it too, so I wouldn't lose it. I wanted to be able to reference it so we wouldn't have to go back to the house to find it.
They pulled back from touching each other too. I can't remember why they said they did that.
I don't know. I'm sure it was Carla.
You think that hurts them?
Provoked. Yeah.
I think their biggest issue is gonna be the how do I say this? She has this mindset of spitefulness. Like, you did this to me, I'm gonna do it back to you type of. It seems that way. I don't truly know. And I feel like that's gonna be a downfall for them. And she's gonna put herself in a bigger position for him to say, well, I did this and you don't. Because for some reason in the back of my mind, I don't know if this is true or not, this girl don't have a place to stay.
No, well, we know she don't.
No, I'm saying I don't think it's because like her lease is up. I'm kidding. Her lease is probably up.
Her lease doesn't exist. Right. No matter if it was up, it don't exist no more.
She don't have a lease, so that's gonna be a question to come up too.
All right. So Camille and Thomas.
Camille and Thomas. The light skins.
Really? You said that made me think about Trinidad James.
Huh?
Asian and white women. That's how you say it.
Oh, okay. They went to his apartment, and his apartment looks like what I thought it would look like.
But he had a lot of suits.
He did, and they all were like color coded, like.
And from someone like my stepdad has a lot of suits.
Yeah,
I was like, you got a lot of suits.
But I didn't see.
I expected him to be more of like a bunch of button ups kind of guy.
I did see him. Like what surprised me was him in the J's. Like all them boxes of Jordans, like. It's like, okay, guy.
He be like, my feet stay fly.
Yeah. All right, brother. With the J's on. But Camille is personally looking for a guy that how did I describe? He's one of those typical white guys, but he's black. Which it makes sense that, he wears the short shorts. That's what how they be out here flip flops and no socks with the short shorts on, walking to class and stuff. We've all seen it.
But you know what? I think that most of my black friends evolve into that after college.
Yeah, because one, they're comfortable.
Exactly. So it's like he's exactly the person that these guys were. At 19, he just that at 41.
But that's the thing for her. It's like a cultural difference between them. Like I'm gonna call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a black man who goes through the black man struggles, but he was raised in a predominantly white situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't blame him for anything. Because that's just the living environment he was in. It's like somebody coming to you saying, I like rock music. And it's just different type of music. And that's
I'll be like, all I know is corn.
I don't even know that, But it's like where you grew up listening to rap and R&B, this person grew up listening to country and rock. And it's like
I'll be like, listen to some Shaboozey.
And I'm like, that's the culture shock that she's getting from him. But she likes him though.
Be like, let me show you where they turn Shaboozys into Raekwon.
Yeah.
Or not Raekwon. Hey, what's his name? Jaquan.
Yeah. But I'm curious to know if that's a deal breaker for hers because they're so on different extremes. And she's trying to be polite about it.
Mm-hmm. She's being polite about it, but she's pointing it out. And I don't think that he has to have it pointed out to see the difference.
Yeah.
I think that he's just not talking about it. But I think that unless you grew up in like same neighborhood, even same neighborhoods, your households can just be culturally different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. It's just like you grew up with a lot of people in your house. I didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there was like a vast difference in the way that we grew up. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's not something that we just sit up and point out.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up like this and I grew up like this. And it's like, no, we both grew up the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a few more people in the house, at your house, than it was in my house. Yeah. You had to get up early to go to the bathroom. I was one of the last ones in there.
Like
Difference.
it's like a person growing up with a beach house, or we go to the cabins, to our cabin or lake house, versus somebody that grew up renting an apartment all their life. You know, it's that type of difference. You're not gonna know how to.
But I think she's making it that type of difference.
She is.
Because I don't think that they are that different.
No, like I don't. When she talked about him and his corny jokes, or the jokes that don't, like, they brought up him with the flossing and blood. You know, everybody knows, like, you floss. If you start flossing, your gums are gonna bleed because that's just what happens. Right?
And they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to?
No.
But when you first start, they do.
I mean, they can. They usually means that there's some issues there.
Oh.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not supposed to.
Anyway, he brought that up and just talked about blood. But it's like he didn't know. You know? Well, just say something. You know what I'm saying? That's nasty. Don't talk about that no more. Or, you know, just being in the moment with each other. She's making it a big thing because she don't know how not to. Because I mean, like, that would be weird. You know? I
was just been like, that's gross. Don't say that.
Yeah.
And move on. I guess it's hard for me to want to harp on the little things. Especially things that are just an issue of not knowing. You don't know that I don't like these jokes until I tell you I don't like these jokes. And I think that that's something that you have to, like, work through in any relationship, not just a married at first sight type situation, because the person just might not know.
But like I say all the time, man, it's like all these guys are still walking on those eggshells because they're still trying to get to know this pretty lady. You know, she's a pretty lady. I never would walk up to her to talk to her if it was in the street. The experts put me with this lady, so now I got to figure out who this lady is in an expedited position because we're married. That's always in the back of your head. We're married. I think they like each other. It's just a matter of, one, for Camille, she's in her head about getting to know him, and she sees a black man, but here's a white guy, you know, or vice versa. She, you know, but I don't know, man. She's bringing this up because it bothers her. And she was like, this is not what I'm used to. And, you know, she called him a safe space, so she feels safe around him. So that means she's comfortable around him. And she says she likes him. She's attracted to him and stuff like that. So it's like, those are the good things. But it's like, is this going to be a deal breaker for her that he is who he is? You know, just his demeanor about himself and how he carries himself, and, you know,
I think he talked a little bit more demure.
Him being such a stiff person, if I can say that about him. I think what her job or goal should be is loosening him up, not changing him to a point of he's, you know, you see a black man.
But I think that you can still be who you are and be stiff, for lack of better words. And I say that because look at me and you.
Yeah.
You always say that people will never see how silly I am.
Yeah.
Because it's not the side of me that I lead with.
Yeah.
You lead with that side. And that's might be something that they're just going to have to figure out. It's new, so he hasn't figured out how to let the other side of him out.
Yeah.
And so that's just something he has to work towards.
Except when he skipped.
I'm right there with him on the skip. Like, it's cool for me.
Yeah, but no, it's you know, it's seeing them. One thing I can commend her on is when she was talking to the experts, we clearly understood what she was trying to convey. Like, her messaging was on point. It wasn't hurtful. It wasn't like she was trying to down the guy. And it wasn't that she was trying to, it did feel like she was trying to tell on him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like, this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm working on it and, you know, and stuff like that. So I can appreciate their conversation with the experts. I'm just hoping that whatever they figure out and however they come up with it, that they're able to move forward with their relationship, and it's not anything that holds them back. Like, oh, he's not a hood guy, because that's it. Because that's what it is. She used to dealing with hood boogers, and she gotta let that go. That is your past. Right. You know, everybody want a bad guy.
I didn't.
You know,
I did.
Everybody want a thug.
I didn't. I think that there's only been one bad guy trait that any of my exes have had.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into that on camera. I'll tell you when we get done. Yeah. But I just, and you're not going to consider it a bad guy trait, but that's pretty much like it.
I didn't understand her thought process in that.
Yeah.
It's like you're looking for him to do, I hate to say it this way, you're looking for him to do black things. Mm-hmm. And it's okay if you don't. Like that's the thing for me. It's like it's okay for him not to do black things because, you know, everybody don't eat spaghetti and fish.
Okay, Memphis.
You know, everybody don't call them frozens.
Okay, Chattanooga.
You know, it's just
a couple wings in a freeze cup.
Yeah, right. So it's that thing for me, and you know, with them, it's like, come on, man, is this gonna be something that puts a block in you guys' happiness in the relationship? Because you got to get past that. You can't just let that hold you guys back, because that's just who he is, mm-hmm. and how he maneuvers. Get to know him. See if you like him on a quote unquote molecular level. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then go from there. So, but I still like that couple. That's my favorite in this whole thing. So. Okay. That's all I got, man.
All right, that's all I got. So the question that we're asking today is, do you think that Michelle would have found it different if David's parents lived with him instead of him living in his parents' home? I wonder if she would have felt the way too if he would have been like, yeah, this is my house and my parents live in the basement.
That's basically what
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because most people think when you say your parents live with you that they live in the general home.
In the house, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if it was his parents living in the basement, not just in his house, but in the basement.
Yeah.
Would you be like, your mama got health issues, take her upstairs?
I don't know if that would make a difference.
Or she'd be like, mama and daddy gotta go to a nursing home.
Yeah. I believe that's how she would be.
They have people to pay to do this.
Yeah, she would be bothered by the fact that he has his parents.
Like that he loves his parents.
Yeah.
Because that's what it would
like
be.
that was like a serious conversation, man, you had about if a parent had to come. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and basically both of us said we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, we would. This house is not equipped for that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot about if my dad had to live with us.
Yeah.
Like, how would we make accommodations?
We'll figure it out.
I know.
Truly. Anyway, get us out of here, man.
All right. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, comment down below what do you think it would be like if David's parents live with him instead of him living with his parents. We'll see you guys. I don't know when this is gonna come out. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, one of them days. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all. Buddy.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Peace.